Hi, we're going to do the AcuPoint massage points and we're going to start with association points with each of the back shoe points, and then we're going to go on to the master points, and then we're going to do the source points. Okay, here we go. So Monk is our model today, and he's adactioned, as you can see. So let me just try and position him. There we go. I'm going to position him. So first of all, I find the point of shoulder actually, and then I sort of come up and find the scapula and the spine of scapula. And when I come to the top of the scapula, which is here, I just come off caudally, just off and back. And this is bladder 13, which is lung. Then I do bladder 14. So I've already established the vertebrae. He just took a big deep breath, a big sigh from bladder 13, which is lovely. Then bladder 14, which is the pericardium with my fingers. And I'm 1.5 cun off the midline, which is about a thumb width away. And you can feel, I'm not feeling for anything, but you can fall into these natural depressions. So there's the scap, and there's bladder 13, bladder 14, pericardium, and bladder 15, which is the heart. And I leave those three together. 16 isn't a back shoe point. And then the 17, which is the inferential point for blood. But I stay with these association points, these three. And then I come to bladder 18 slightly differently, in that I'll work around the last rib here, and working around the edge, I come onto the spine and then 1 cun off. And this is bladder 21. So I'm coming round the last rib to bladder 21, and that is the stomach. Come down one. Well, that's 22, but I'm going to work back to 20. So round to 21, and then 20, which is for the spleen, 19, which is the gall bladder, 18, which is liver. So 18 liver, 19 gall bladder, 20 spleen, 21 is stomach, coming round. Perfect. And then 20, 21, 22 is the triple heater. 23 is kidney, bladder 23 is the kidney back shoe. And I just put my pinky against the rib, and I'm going to come straight up, and I'm right here. Okay, so you can do it this way, come straight up, and that's bladder 23, which is the kidney back shoe point. And then I'm coming into the midpoint, the middle of the spine, not pressing hard. All of this is eyeball pressure, but this is Ming Men, governing vessel 4. Really good, strong kidney boost, kidney chi, great for the immune system, great for chi, really good point. And then from here, we're going to go, because there's nothing on 24, the next one is 25, and I just find the iliac crest. So I'm going to find the ilium. There's the top of the ilium, the hip bone. Here it is, here, there's the top of the ilium. Forward 25, and 25 is the large intestine. That's forward, that's cranial to the hip bone, to the iliac crest. That's 25. Nothing for 26, and 27, just behind, is the small intestine. That's 27, behind the iliac. So here's the iliac crest. Before it is 25, and behind it is 27, and then coming back one is 28. And it's there's a nice, there's a depression here at where the base of the tail is. That's 28, which is bladder, where my thumb is. The back way point is here, and I sort of give that a good massage. This is a calming point, which he's love. Oh, fuck. He loves the back way point. Look at that Daction, loving it. Yes, he's even looking at me. He says, "That's lovely, mama." Okay. So now we're going to do the master points, and the master points are to do with regions and regions on the anatomy. So the region for the hind quarters or for more anatomy and physiology. So we're going to start with stomach 36. Stomach 36, I find the stifle, and then I just come down either maybe 2, it depends on the dog, because it's actually 3 sun down, but for dogs 3 sun is only 2 or 1 finger breadth. So I come down the tibia and come off lateral until I find a nice spongy mound here. And this is where stomach 36 is. So I always find the stifle, just come off laterally, down and off. Eyeball, and that's stomach 36. That is the master point for the gastrointestinal tract. It's also, again, a huge chi boost. It's one of the most powerful chi boosters. Really good for immune system too. Then we're going to go to spleen 6. And the way to find spleen 6 is that you locate the stifle and you locate the medial malleolus. You go in half and in half again, and then just come off the bone. So caudally off the bone. So I'll just show you again. Sorry, teacher. But find the stifle and I find the medial malleolus. I go halfway, and then halfway again, and just off the bone, off the tibia here. And that's stomach 36. And stomach 36 is the master point for urinary and urogenital systems. It's really good for enriching yin, nourishing the yin, as it's the highest yin meeting point. Next one is bladder 40, and the bladder 40 again is behind the stifle. So we find the stifle and it's in a depression right behind the stifle here. And this is the master point for the hind quarters. So my thumb's right in that lovely groove, and that's bladder 40, great for any sort of hip problems. Then we're going to come to the front carpus, and we're going to do lung 7. So lung 7, I start with always lung 9, which lung 9 is the depression right in the carpus crease here. And then I can just come back 1 finger width. So often I'll locate it, I'll put my finger here, it's tricky to see this, but I put my finger in lung 9 and then just put my second finger down, and that's lung 7. So here you can see that lung 9 is in that lovely depression in the carpus crease, and lung 7 would just be next to it here, 1.5 sun proximal, and that's lung 7, and that's the master point for the head and neck and respiratory issues. And then we've got large intestine 4, which is find the dew claw, and then in the webbing of the dew claw against the metacarpal bone there, in that lovely webbing, that's large intestine 4, which is the master point for the face, for the mouth. It's also a source point, and it's also a chi boosting point. It's a fabulous point. Great for headaches, great for any sort of headache or channel along the channel of the large intestine. Also good for jaw problems and teeth problems. And then finally we've got pericardium 6. Pericardium 6 is the master point for the heart, chest and upper abdomen. It's also good for nausea. It's a really good point. So I find heart 7, I'll show you heart 7 when we do the source points, but I find heart 7, which is lateral, in this lovely little depression. It's actually a big depression. And I put both fingers either side of the tendon. And so on the inside of the tendon is pericardium 7. So heart 7 and pericardium 7 together. And then I'm just going to put my finger down and 1 or 2 fingers. So if you've got a longer limbed dog, you might put 2 fingers down, because it's 2 sun proximal to the wrist crease or the carpal crease. So I find heart 7, pericardium 7, and on teacher it would be one finger. Sorry, darling, I'm so sorry. So it would be here, either side of the tendon, and then it would be approximately one finger width. But that's the best way to find it, and I would do all three together. Heart 7, pericardium 7, and pericardium 6. So here it would be heart 7, pericardium 7, and then pericardium 6. I hope you can see that. But those three together work really well for all trust issues and anxiety. If if dog's feeling depressed or miserable, really good to strengthen the shen and strengthen the spirit of the dog. So that's the master points. And now we'll do the source points. So the source points, we've already just seen lung 9. Lung 9 is in the carpus crease, and it's actually really good to locate when you find that carpus crease in the depression medial and the carpus crease. That's lung 9, and that's the source point for the lung meridian. Large intestine 4, you've seen at the webbing of there's the dew claw, and at the webbing of the dew claw against the metacarpal bone here, the first metacarpal bone, that's large intestine 4, and that's the source point for the large intestine channel and large intestine channel issues. Stomach 42, I often find stomach 41 is at this talus joint here, and then stomach 42 is on the junction of the 3rd and 4th metatarsal bone. So I'm just coming down in between the 3rd and 4th. So I'm just coming down. So on humans, it's on the mound of the foot. Sorry, sweetie. So tender. It's all right, darling. It's all right. Relax yourself. It's all right, sweetie. So I'm just coming down, and there is a nice depression. It's quite high up on the foot. And the more gentle you feel, the easier it is to feel that depression. So kidney 3, and kidney 3 is medial in this lovely thin skin area, this very top of the hock. There's thin skin, that's kidney 3. Thank you. And then we've got heart 7, which is lateral in this deep depression here, in this nice big groove. That's heart 7, which is the source point for the heart, in that nice groove. And then right on the other side of the tendon is pericardium 7. So heart 7, pericardium 7. I always do these together. Thank you, darling. Oh, monk's back. We're going to do small intestine 4, which is on the edge, the ulnar edge of the depression of the base of the 5th metacarpal bone. So here we can find the 5th metacarpal bone, and here, there's the 5th metacarpal bone, and we're on the edge here. And there it is, lovely depression. So often I stroke very, very lightly and feel where there's a natural depression. So it's forward onto the carpus crease, the 5th metacarpal bone, and there's a nice depression. And that's the small intestine 4, small intestine source point. So just to review, we've got small intestine 4, and also now we've got Sanjiao 4 on the carpus crease, right in that lovely depression on the top of the carpus crease here, and large intestine 4 in the webbing of the dew claw. So large intestine 4, Sanjiao 4, triple heater 4, and small intestine 4. Lung 9, heart 7, pericardium 7. We've also missed out a liver 3 on the back, so let me just review liver 3. Liver 3 is a really important point. It's in the depression between the first and second metatarsal. So find the first and second metatarsal. Thank you. Oh, where's Monk? Let's do Monk again. Come round. Thank you, Monk. So the first and second metatarsal bone. He's got nice big paws. First and second metatarsal, and I'm going to come up until you find the carpal, the metacarpal, the metacarpophalangeal joint, and it's in a depression on the metacarpophalangeal joint in between the first and second metatarsals. Here, liver 3. So you can see with the dogs, with them wriggling so much, I just massage around the metatarsals in between these first here. So this would be a good example as well here. So I'm just going to massage up. And then when I find it, I can, there, nice massage here. Good, liver 3. So here we've got Gall Bladder 40, which is the source point for the gallbladder, and it's on the lateral malleolus, and you go anterior and inferior, and there's a lovely little depression there. So the lateral malleolus, we go anterior and inferior, gallbladder 40. And then bladder 64 is just at the end. It's the end of the, I'm looking at the 5th metatarsal bone, and it's this proximal end, and it's just underneath. You roll off into the depression, and that's bladder 64. So you go gallbladder 40, and then you can come across. It's very lightly stroking bladder 64, and then come off. And then spleen 3. Spleen 3 is like at the proximal end. Well, it's actually like it's at the end of the big toe. So you find the first toe, and there's a depression just at the base of the big toe, and that's spleen 3, which is the source point for the spleen. It's a very lovely depression there. Gallbladder 40, bladder 64, and stomach 42. Stomach 42 is quite a hard one. So there's your association points and your master points and your source points. I really hope that helped. It's really tricky with different dogs and different paws and different lengths. So you work with what you've got, you work with finding the depression, and find your way around, work intuitively and go lightly. It's all eyeball pressure. And I really look forward to hearing how you get on, and I really hope that was very helpful. So thank you so much. It was Anna Jyoti from the School of Fine Tuning, and it's my Canine AcuPoint massage training. If you're interested in CPD training, I'd love to come to you, or you come to me, and I look forward to seeing you. Check out my website. It's theschooloffinetuning.com. Thank you.